Okay. Mr. Ross, yes. Okay. Jen, can you explain your points?
Yes. The first question, what job is my customer trying to get done? My answer is my customer want to get Hare's delicious dinner with good delivery service and a low price.
Okay.
Second question, who else is trying to get that job done? Maybe some vegetarian restaurant and some delivery service company. They want to get that job also. Third, could my product solve another job? Yes, it can help more local people solve their employment problem. It can help more people to help them get a job.
Okay.
Next question. Who are my customer hiring for those jobs right now? There's might be some other competitors like my business, but not exactly because we are focused on the different area. Because for me, my plan was not only to do the food, also we will do the delivery service by ourselves because it might help us to reduce the cost. And the last question is, if the problem solved, we might expand our business, diversify our product choice, and open another branch shop in other cities.
Cool. Okay, and I think in your case, because you're selling dishes, right? We don't need to think about like here the examples with the icons and so on, right? It's because you will have the dish prices. But have you also thought about like having different pricing structures? So having a starter for like very cheap, then for middle price, and then for high price. Or do you only want to focus on one price range?
For the price of the dishes, I may stay the same, but for our different customer, the longer time they order, the more cheaper each dish costs.
So you could also come up with like those pricing packages if you buy the license or the recurrent ordering for 1 month, it's like 10% off. For 3 months is 20% off, right? So you could basically build a subscription business out of the food delivery. That's what you were saying, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Cool idea. Then, Joey. Yes, all right. And have you thought about special pricing structures, like discriminations, like we had here with the different groups, lettering, and so on? Have you? Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Yeah. And there's probably always a way how to make it more attractive, you know. So maybe you can have some power accounts, like if I'm not sure how Airbnb is doing, but I could imagine if you're renting out many nights, maybe your transaction fee is going down or something, you know. Maybe that's could be an idea of how to different things. But yeah, thing to think. Okay, hi Xiao. Nice that you're here. Okay, then Ray.
The first question is, what job is my customer trying to get done? And they get to know more detail about their knowledge. So I think I should selling our surveys and the courses to them. And second is, who else is trying to get that job done? Distance learning students. I don't know what else. Who else? The third is, could my product or the technology solve another job? I think it's no. Because the telco is unique. So I think it is hard to it's hard to it's hard to solve by another job. And the fourth is, who are my customer hiring for this job right now? I think it's different kinds of boss. Because students can be different kinds of boss employees. So I don't know how to answer this question. And the last one is, if soft is there and immediately second or third job that emerge, I think maybe the VR modelers. That's all. Thank you.
All right. And have you thought about different groups, different lettering or fencing price groups? So have you thought about
fencing.
like?
Maybe the indirect fencing.
Yeah, I think this example here, right? Isn't that couldn't be that similar to your business model?
Yeah. Oh, direct fencing. Okay.
Yeah, so you could have a look at that.
Yeah.
All right. Nice, cool. Then let's continue with the pricing. My cat is annoying. Xiao, for your information, we we are talking now about pricing, and we just had a workshop for the section number 1. I will send you all the slides, of course. Okay, so the second, right, I will do the new screen share. So the second metric, or the second group of price optimization, is the pricing metric. So here you have a really nice example of rent a rack, always number 1 on Rustpilot, and 6-car rental. So here's the question now: which is cheaper? So, you know, on the left side you have like really shitty quality. Probably you have problems driving it, and it costs you 500 per day. And then you have 6 share car, like very nice car for just 525 per day. So obviously this is cheaper, but I guess most of the customers will choose this version here. And the pricing metric is can be different things. So let me go to this here, for example. So what can be potential pricing metrics? And this can be also asked in a survey. So for example, how should we charge? Should we charge per user on the account, or do you charge per like item downloaded or data downloaded, or per transaction, or per package, like you package all of your downloads, per number of times you use the icon, and based on freedom. So if you need to license it or not. So this is this was the example to the icon company, and you see here already most preferred, least preferred, that these questions are also very important questions for a survey. So for example, how a question could look like. So if you had to choose a pricing principle for the fleet management system, just imagine it had your preferred features from a minute ago. Which of the following would you prefer? And then you can just ask them the different options of, okay, price per machine per month, price per employee using the system, free, but with such service contracts or something. So yeah, this is just an example to also ask that in surveys. And here you have, again, like this fencing, right? That I think that this Monday, that is team management software where you have, like, say, built-in bulk pricing, right? Because you cannot choose here per 1 user, but you can choose here only 5, 10, 15, 25, and so on. So you can also make like a bulk here. To just be able to sell more. Sorry, guys, I have to open my door 1 second. Sorry. Okay, no, it was quicker. Okay, so this is a bulk pricing. So the pricing metric is by far the most important one, because I will show you one graph. Then you will understand better. Here. So look, this is a very I think very interesting graph. This is now for software products, but it can be, I think, if it can be for any business model, it can be interesting. So at the beginning, you have the setup fees. This is like always the fee, the price, or the cost for onboarding or for the first time usage. So for example, for the VR education platform, that could be like the price of purchasing a VR classes, or price of a training, a workshop to how to use the VR classes correctly. So this is always the setup fee. And then you have different pricing segments. So first you have the basic subscription fee. So that is basically what people need to pay for no special service. Then you have add-ons, like basic add-ons, like you get service for 2 hours more or something like that. And then on the top, you have the metric-based subscription fee. So for example, how many icons do you want to use? How many courses do you want to have access to? Or how many minutes can you spend in your VR education courses? These are like per metric, right? So for, and this is important now to figure out what is a metric here. So is it time spent? So is it minutes? Is it like downloaded data? Is it per gigabyte, or is it per user? So if you have an app or a subscription-based model, it could be also per user. So this is what the metric is about. And let me continue with the how to package it. So that's the third step, how to market it. So here we are all too young to know about that, but the train invention changed the world as much as artificial intelligence today. And the problem at that time was the same, but was very similar to today's questions of AI companies. But the problem was, how are we making sure that we get as many customers as possible? And they knew that there is people who have a lot of money, then there are people who may not have as much money, and then there are people who don't have a lot money at all. So how can you make sure that each of these segments, that they actually also want to buy this particular product? And how did they solve that? Like that. So guess which wagon is third class? It's obviously the one here without a roof, right? So it was very obvious which segment, which pricing was for which product. It's like with the first class, it's any train company. It looks very fancy. You have reserved seats. You just get better service for that. So it needs to be visible, the different pricing segments. So here, the second thing for packaging is, how can you describe the feature? Like this is also, again, for software as a service, but it can be conveyed also for example, food delivery. So do you have express delivery service? Do you have like middle express service? Do you have special packaging? Do you have the free drink with it or something? Do you have something surprise ingredient of the week? Or, you know, so there can be many additional service features to it. And for the icon, like this company here, Icon Finder, just check out how many different features they came up with. So they had multiple users, so that you can invite some team members, that you can edit the icons, roll over icon credits, commercial use license so that you can use them for a longer time, priority support so that your messages get answered as fast as, unlimited users, multiple file formats, and so on and so on. So you see here that they had 10 different features, and probably they showcased different features based also on the plans, and made plans more worth, less worth it. And then there's like, this is all the internal view. So here's, you're always thinking, what can you offer? What are your good features? what could potential metrics be, and so on. And now it's also about the wallet structure. What do I mean with wallet structure is how much money does actually the customer have or has to pay you, how much money he usually pays your competitors, or maybe you can also think about in case of if they use your product, your service, how much more money will they do? Like those questions. So like you see here, you should know their budgets. You should know who gets decided on buying your product. So is it just one normal person? Is it another company? Who is it in this company? You should know about their accounting. You should know what they care about, and if they are satisfiers or maximizers. So for example, just a guess, but I assume that the customer of your delivery they are probably maximizers because they have it delivered, they don't have a lot of time and they want to have it cheap. So that's why they like maximizers, say, yeah. In terms of satisfiers, I guess that's rather the customer of the pet BNT app, because like the pet owners, because for them it's very convenient and they pay maybe more money, but or the same money. Yeah, so that's important to know. And then if you know all this, that's you basically your you can also put those insights into your pricing strategy and come up with a better pricing plan. So here again, that's clear. That's maybe only for your software idea. So for the app or for the delivery platform, I mean, you also need to have features there, right? So here it's about which feature do you actually build and when do you build it? Because, you know, MVP, we talked about that, it's a minimal viable product. So basically your first version of your product, you should obviously only focus on the features which will also increase the likelihood to pay. So you should only build the features for which the customers are also willing to pay. And then after the MVP, then there's this zone which like maybe 25 to 7, like 50% of the customers will pay for. So then you build those features. And below 25%, you do not build these features because it's just too many features and it doesn't add enough value for you. And then at the end, you can always use such as here, you know, have features on the left side and then have your different segments here. And then you see in either the interviews or surveys which segments prefer that and which not. And then actually you can also start with building the features where all of the segments want to have it, you know. So you can get the fastest in the production time. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, so key takeaway is always know what your customer prefer, and then based on that, you can build the price discrimination. Here you see actually also another example, because like how do we actually come to a price now, right? Like how do we define if it's 10 euros or if it's 15 euros? These there are different methods how to price them. So for example, here on the top, the cost-based pricing, here you rather look at the competitors and you rather look at your costs. So for example, in terms of the meal, I think it's very easy. You say, okay, the food ingredients, the cooking time, the delivery fuel and the wages for the delivery service, this costs me X euros per dish. And you know, okay, how much does your dish needs to cost so that you make profit at the end. And here is also, you look a lot on your competitors. So you look how much does this dish cost in a restaurant close to you, for example. The value pricing, you rather look into your customer's mind. So you rather look and how much money do you bring your customers? What can they actually do with your product? So for example, for the pet adoption app, it's you can think about how much you can do both. So you can look at how much money do the pet owners do need to pay in pet shops or pet hotels without the app, and how much money does it cost them to walk the dog to the pet shop, and so on and so on. And then this is more the value pricing. So how much value are you actually adding for this person? Emotional pricing is rather in special situations. So for example, like wedding rings, or if there's a certain time of the year, so like Christmas or Black Friday or Singles Day. I heard that Alibaba like had a huge single day sale. So this is more like emotional pricing. And niche-based pricing is basically per segment. So when you're really in a small niche, in a specific niche, you can make higher prices there, for example, because it's just focused on one specific target group, and you're very unique, and there's actually not so many competitors, so you can actually increase your prices a lot. So let me share you one. We already talked about this graph here, right? So we will do this in a workshop now. And let me see what I wanted to add. So here, this is a really, really good methodology how to actually get to your exact pricing. So how should your exact price be like? And there are only 4 questions. 4 questions you need to ask your future customer or your interview partners. At what price would you begin to think the system, like your product, is too expensive to consider? At what price would you begin to think the system is so inexpensive that you would question the quality and not consider it? At what price would you begin to think the system is getting expensive, but you still might consider it? At what price would you think your product is a bargain and great buy for the money? So you ask those questions to your interview partners or to surveys. You can put them also in online surveys. And what do you do then is you build this very complicated looking graph, but I will explain you. So here you have the percentage of people who would buy that. And here's the price. So that's €1, €2, €3, €4, €5, and so on. So for example, and here are the answers of your 4 questions, right? You had too cheap. That's question 2. At what price would you begin to think the system is so inexpensive, so cheap? So that's one. Bargain is question 4, and so on and so on. So for example, 100% of the survey, the people who you ask, they would think at €0 your service is too cheap. That makes sense, right? So only 50% think that your product is too cheap when it costs €1. And so it goes down and down. So at €5, there are maybe 15% which think that your product is too cheap. So, and then you do this with all the others, and you see here the numbers actually. So it's too expensive. You have the averages of the prices. So 16 euros would be way too expensive. At 9 euros, it would be okay expensive. At 4.40 euros, it would be like a bargain, and at 1.60 euro, it would be a cheap. So basically, you build the average of each of the answers, right? And then you already see here, look around 5, somehow all the graphs come together, and you also see at the bargain at 5 looks like 5 euros, 6 euros, 7 euros. That's like the range where a lot of people would still buy your product, and then you can just do this this analysis, you know, where you have like the price and the profit on one axis. So here you have the price, and here you have the expected profit. And depending on how high your price is, you can calculate how many people would have bought it. And then you can see how much profit you would have made, right? So imagine here, for example, the price is 850. So your profit with 850 would have been maybe 58,000. But if you increase the price to 925 or something, your profit would have been maybe 85,000 euros. So you should definitely put the price here where your maximum expected profit is. So at 925. So the first step is ask those 4 questions, do this analysis here, and then you can calculate this pricing, like which price should be the best one with the highest. Did you understand that?
Yes. Cool.
All right. Cool. So like I started at the beginning with this pitch, with this presentation, always worry about your pricing, because if you're continuously optimizing your pricing, you will automatically be more successful and you will have more profit, because it has an immediate effect on your profit. Okay, so back to the workshop. So this was all the theory I had. So the second task is basically here. Oh wait, I will put it in here. The second task is to find out your metric and what can be potential features of your product and service. So what can be, is it a delivery time? Is it the variation of dishes, the amount of if meals, or so on and so on. So like brainstorm about what could be potential features, and can those features be important for your pricing. Okay, we have, let me see. Yes, let's do 30 minutes. So until 4 or 5. Okay. And Xiao, I will send you the link again, so you can also work on it. So just copy paste again your here on the bottom, you can, not sure if you have enough space on your previous slides. So just use these slides below. Okay, so